The modern master of horror is Argentine journalist Mariana Enríquez, and it's not even close. Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm an educator and literary scholar, and I don't think you're reading enough Mariana Enríquez. I'm going to share 5 book recommendations with you that I think you need to read right away if you want to read the best horror out there right now. First up is Un lugar, soleado para gente, sombría, and it was translated into English as A Sunny Place for Shady People. This is her most recent short story collection. It came out in 2024, and it is knockout like everything else she's produced. There's one story in particular. In Spanish, it's La Desgracia en la Cara, and in English, it's Face of Disgrace. And it is about a woman reckoning with family history. It's a curse on her family. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically she has to deal with the metaphorical and literal erasure of her identity as a woman, as a person, as a queer person. It's a magnificent read and it's truly chilling. It really does get under your skin. I can't recommend it highly enough. This whole collection is just exquisite. My second recommendation is her 2017 collection, Los peligros de fumar en la cama. It was translated in 2021 as The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. It's by the same translator, Megan McDowell. There's a story in it. In Spanish, it's called El Desentierro de la Angelita, and in English, it's Angelita Unearthed. And it is, again, about a woman reckoning with her family history. There's a tradition in Latin America, particularly in Caribbean Latin America, where children who are born and then pass before they are baptized, it is thought that they are made into angels, right? And so their wake is one that is observed as sort of witnessing another angel literally coming into heaven. And so it's sort of a play on that because it's a child who passed before she was baptized, and then she comes back. And the protagonist doesn't know why she's come back, doesn't know what she wants, doesn't know what she needs, and has to figure out what this little creature is trying to tell her to be put to rest, if that's possible. It's a beautiful collection, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Then there is her 2016 collection, Las Cosas que Perdimos en el Fuego. It was translated again by Megan McDowell as Things We Lost in the Fire. This is another exquisite short story collection, and it has some of my favorite stories in it. So, first of all, again, another story that featured in my dissertation. It has The Dirty Kid, El Chico Sucio. It is about a woman living in a not great neighborhood in, I think, Buenos Aires. She encounters a young boy who remains nameless throughout the whole story, and I think that's important. And one day, something terrible happens. And it is about this woman dealing with the guilt of her action and inaction that led to this terrible thing that happened. It also has an homage to H.P. Lovecraft, which I really, really enjoy. Bajo el agua negra, Under the Black Water. It is inspired by a true story and is also a play on some Lovecraftian themes to talk about corruption and pollution and power and how we allow innocent lives to slip into the blackness for the sake of protecting the status quo. Again, it's a beautiful, wonderful story. If you are more into nonfiction, Mariana Enriquez is also an exquisite nonfiction writer. She wrote Alguien camina sobre tu tumba. This is a collection of essays from 2021, and it was very recently translated as Somebody is Walking on Your Grave. Also, thank you so much to the folks at Hogarth Books. I'm talking about you, David. You guys are beautiful. For this advanced reader's copy, um, I cannot recommend this highly enough. You really get into where Mariana Enriquez's mind goes when she's grappling with this stuff. I think because we know her as a fiction writer here in the United States or in the English speaking world mostly, we forget that she is also a journalist and a very serious thinker about life without the monsters and the ghosts and the creepy crawlies, right? She is someone who takes seriously that socio-political circumstances do not happen by accident. And so she travels around to different countries and visits her favorite graveyards or her favorite graves in these graveyards and talks about that experience, talks about grappling with lives, with all kinds of really fun things. And specifically to me, she talks about being a fan in these books. And I think so much of what Mariana Enriquez writes is about her being a fan. Fan culture is something that she really, really cares about. She has said before that she cares about music more than anything, even literature, and it really shows that that's true in this collection. Last but certainly not least is my favorite book, not just of Mariana Enriquez, but overall. In 2019, she came out with Nuestra Parte de Noche. It's kind of a Goliath. It's a big boy, and it was translated as Our Share of Night. And this is far and away one of the most dark, lovely, weird, angry, hopeful, powerful books that I've read in a long time. I don't know if you can see, but it's very heavily annotated. It's something that I've read and reread numerous times in both English and Spanish. It is the story of Gaspar, who is a young man growing up in the 80s and 90s in Argentina. Um, and it is about a lot of things. Like so many of Mariana Enriquez's writings, it's not about just one thing. It is about the dictatorship of El Proceso Nacional, the Argentine. We use the term dirty war, which is not accurate, but that's the disappearances and the corruption and the dictatorship of government that Mariana Enriquez experienced as a young girl. Gaspar is dealing with that. At the same time, he is grappling again with the legacy, the circumstances of his family. His family is not a regular family, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there is magic, there are demons, there's suicide, so trigger warning, there's murder, there is folklore, there is David Bowie. So you really need to pick up this book if you want to spend a good amount of time in the heart and mind of a very troubled, very traumatized, but very lovely young man who is dealing with circumstances beyond his control in a way that those of us who have experienced difficulties, no, it's stupid. If you want to spend time in the mind of a traumatized, angry, lovely, wonderful, beautiful mind of Gaspar Peterson for 600 and something pages, I cannot recommend it highly enough. I read this book during lockdown back in 2020, and it really was something that still to this day stays with me. And every time I reread this book, I learn something new. These are the books that have been translated into English, and I really recommend that you go out and get them. However, for those of you who can read in Spanish, there are some more really lovely books. There is, for example, La Hermana Menor. She wrote a biography of Silvina Ocampo, who was a very important and I think underrated writer, also from Argentina. Her first book, Bajar es lo peor, Coming Down is the Worst, it reads like it was written by a young woman who was very, very, very into gay vampire fan fiction, and I'm here for it. I loved it. I had no problem with that. There is Este es el mar. I don't believe this is in English yet. This is the ocean. And it is about, again, fandom, fame, music. It is about a otherworldly entity that needs to make a rock star fall from grace in order for her to win her place among her pantheon. And it's slim, but it's dense. It's good. Another nonfiction, El Otro Lado, The Other Side. This is a collection of journalistic writings that she's done. I haven't read this one yet. This is the next one that I'm going to tackle. And I'm really, really excited because the thing about Mariana Enriquez is that not everything is fantastical. Even her stories that are rooted, like I said before, in ghosts and monsters and mayhem, they are about the real world and about corruption and about power and about gender and about queerness and about fame. It's just masterful. Mariana Enriquez is the best living horror writer, and you need to go pick up any one of these books as soon as you can.